Good morning here from Los Angeles. Valerie Milano, the senior editor of the Hollywood Times, and I want to welcome our guest. I'm going to have him introduce himself. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, my name is Andrew Coughlin, and I'm the writer-director of the film Grief is a Room.
Yes, and we are media partners for the Highland Park Film Festival, where this film will be showing. Andrew, what was the personal or creative spark that inspired you to make Grief is a Room? And did this story come from a specific moment in your life or a broader meditation on grief?
Um, it's kind of funny how I did come up with it. I had made a previous short called The Small Hours with my son and me, and I had this idea of someone playing Russian roulette with pills for a while now. And actually, it was supposed to be another film, but the actress that I wanted to cast wasn't ready. So, but I was very eager to make something else. So then I thought, okay, well, let me go along the same lines of using what I did for the small hours, myself, my son, my film gear, my apartment, and just see if I can still utilize the pills playing Russian roulette, but create a different story. And that's basically where what prompted the film, I guess. There wasn't any big desire to tell a story about grief or anything like that. I think I just always liked the idea of, what if there was someone that was grieving, but instead of playing Russian roulette with a loaded gun, using pills. So that's kind of how it
Mhm.
came about.
So you wrote, directed, shot, edited, and even acted in
And
this
even that.
project
Yes, yeah.
completely on your own.
Yes,
What
yeah.
what were the biggest challenges of creating such an intimate piece without a crew, and what freedoms did it give you?
Okay, so yeah, the biggest challenge was probably making sure I was in focus. That was I have a monitor, but it's not like a huge monitor. It's like a little 5-inch monitor, and I could rotate it, so that I could see. But trying to get everything right was probably the most challenging. Also, when I was filming the night scenes, my that was definitely at night, and my son was asleep for those scenes. So just having to be um, quiet doing that. Um, and let's see. The Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
Oh, just it was there, you basically already answered it. Just did it give you any more freedom?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think just one, being able to work at my own pace, never having to worry about, oh, I didn't get that scene done. That's okay. I can do it the next day.
Sure.
Um, because the film was shot within a period of, I think, 11 days. I think I shot it in like 3 or 4 days, but different blocks, a couple of hours that day, maybe 6 hours the next day. So, yeah.
Okay. The film holds silence and stillness in a really powerful way. How did you think about pacing and imagery and the eventual return of color, as a
Yeah.
storytelling device?
Yeah. I knew that at first I didn't think that color was going to play any aspect, or have any, what's the word? I didn't, the plan was just to shoot the whole entire film in black and white, but then I thought, oh, well, that might be a little confusing for the audience. Let me have the flashback scenes, have that be a little bit, have those be in color. But then I also kind of like the idea of, well, when the father goes into the son's room, to kind of have it be like the Wizard of Oz moment, when Dorothy lands in Oz and then she opens the door, and not that I quite got that effect perfect, but yeah, I felt that the color would be, I guess the father character choosing to go back towards the light and not wanting to take his own life. Um, as far as pacing, I knew that in the quietness of the film, I knew it was going to be quiet. I knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of dialogue, that it would rely heavily on music, but also silence. um, in my acting, I guess. I'm not an actor, but it was just something kind of fun to do and out of necessity. So
Cute, cute. Well, maybe you want to change your goals in life. I don't know.
no, probably
Okay.
not, but yeah,
Even though the film is so personal, it seems to touch something universal about grief and memory. What
sure.
kinds of responses have you received from audiences so far?
Yeah, so this film it screened or premiered at the Great Film Club out at La Crescenta or La Cañada, and one actor came up to me and said, "Hey, I just really want to say I really enjoyed your film because that was very personal because I think my understanding was he lost his kids in a custody battle and he tried to actually commit suicide with pills. I think he has them back now, but he said that that really resonated with him. I mean, that was quite a fun experience because a lot of people did approach me about the film and saying like, "Wow, you took 9 years off and you came back with this. You made it solo, um, etc." I met a film composer who is composing music for my next little short. So that was great because when I showed this film to my family, my immediate family, they all kind of hated it. They thought it was a cry for help, and I told them, no, no, not at all. Beckett, as you guys know, is alive and well, and this is just a fictional story. So something a little more with a, a traditional narrative, because The Small Hours wasn't. It was more of just like a portrait of a day in a life. So,
I've got to
um,
tell you, I'm so glad this isn't a true story for you. That's all.
yeah, yeah. Oh,
Okay.
me too.
Yeah, right, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
definitely me
Uh,
too.
You said this film and The Small Hours mark a turning point in your creative process. How do you see your work evolving from here? Are you continuing to explore this stripped down, minimalistic style, or do you feel called to something different next?
Um, well, I feel that maybe this is because I've made 13 films. The 14th is still in post, but the previous 11 films, when I submitted them to festivals, they weren't really getting accepted or any kind of traction at all. But I think I was trying to copy too much of my filmmaking idols, which is like Edward Burns and Woody Allen. I love those types of films. And um, so I think I finally have found my own voice with this next film called The Days I Hold. It's very much in the same vein as Grief and Small Hours, very quiet. I'm not in it this time,
Okay.
but it kind of focuses more on those like intimate moments, intimate and quiet moments. But I do like films with dialogue. Like I would love to make or kind of revert back to what I was doing, more character driven films. So I would like to try and go back to that. But we'll see though, because I feel like, well, it's interesting that both these films are getting recognized at festivals, whereas the previous ones weren't. So I also kind of have to listen to that and be like, well, maybe this is um my niche, I guess, So
All right, Andrew. Well, so how can our readers and our viewers find out more about you and more about your film here? A website or social media or what?
yeah, I have a website which is just andrewcoughlin.com. And then social media, I'm not that active on, but I am. I mean, I do have Instagram, but I'm not posting every day or anything like that. And I don't have a ton of followers or anything. Um, but yeah, I would say both of those would probably be the best way. Yeah.
Has the film festival given you a date yet of your
Yeah, for
showing?
the Highland Park one, it's Saturday, the 25th, I believe, at
Okay,
2 p.m.
great. All right. Well, we'll make sure we put that in our article. We're the Hollywood Times dot today, and our YouTube channel is the Hollywood Times Official. Thank you for joining us. Keep up the good work, and maybe we'll meet in person rather than virtually.
Yeah, sounds good. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much, Valerie. I
Thank you,
appreciate this.
Andrew. Have a
Okay.
great rest of your
All right.
day.
You too.
Bye-bye.